Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Corner episode 13. I am Officer Rowan and I'm joined by my co-host Simon. How are you today?
Doing all right, yeah.
Good. I'm decent. Again, if you don't know, it's still lockdown, but we're still going. It's the only sport that still goes ahead, and we've got it. Today we'll be talking about really the Money in the Bank, sort of the strange what's going to be happening with Money in the Bank, but looks very fun. We'll talk about all the WWE releases happened, what we think about the situation, and everything else. But without further ado, we will go straight into it with AEW. To sign off, the show started off with one of the first TNT Championship matches, which was the Murderhawk Lance Archer versus Boom Boom Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana was a quite decent babyface in this, but obviously Lance Archer, this vicious heel, won't really stop. Does pick up the win with a choke slam and then a blackout, pushing him to the semi-finals, which is looking like who's on his side? I think is it Cody? No, Cody's on the other side.
Who's on Lance Archer's side? It's Dustin and Kit.
Oh yeah, and Dustin went on Twitter. There was a video on Twitter saying if he loses, he retires.
Yeah, that was on Road too. I watched it just before.
Which is strange, I suppose, because I mean, surely you'd want him to have a big marquee match if this was his last one.
I think.
Just to build up hype,
it's a bit of a weird thing to do, but I do think Dustin wins.
Just to build hype up.
No, because you don't
bracket.
You don't gain anything from having Kit Sabian versus Lance Archer. Whereas if you have Dustin versus Archer,
yeah, it's heel versus babyface.
It's the step closer to Cody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's probably going to be the final Cody Lance, and then we had Darby Sammy and Kip Dustin this week. Tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah,
that could be decent.
This match, it were pretty standard though, wasn't it? Like
it was standard squash.
What it needed to be. It wasn't a squash match, but Archer won comfortably. Hit the block
It didn't need to be like Colt Cabana looks like he's going to win. It's just going to be Colt Cabana gets a great showing him. Is like third TD match? I think the rest of it on
dark, but yeah, third or fourth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what it needed to be, and Lance Archer storms on. After this, we had a match between the Golden One, Cassandra Golden versus Britt Baker. Hikaru Shida was also in the crowd. Baker won. This Cassandra Golden was not a jobber, but the people they normally bring in to test out, and they'll feed him to one of the wrestlers. And I mean, yeah, what can you say? Britt Baker gets a win.
Britt Baker has absolutely come into her own.
Mm-hmm.
Up until a couple of months ago, I couldn't stand her. I've just been watching matches. Yeah, this is Britt Baker at her best in the ring and sort of promo.
I like her character now. It is okay. She is a heel. We know that now, and as much as like they've drilled it into our heads, we know she's a dentist. This is what she's doing. She's doing teeth-based offense, something that we sort of rarely see. I don't think I can ever think of.
It's more just the patronising, condescending stuff, and then you've got all the little stuff with like Tony Schiavone and.
Mm-hmm. That's a great pairing then too. Tony Schiavone and Britt Baker. Them two somehow know how to work with each other really well.
Yeah, and they had a little bit more on Road too.
Did they? I haven't seen the full episode. I just saw the clip on Twitter.
All right.
Throughout the show, though, we did have vignettes from like MMA people. So we had Ariel Helwani from ESPN talk about Jake Hager's experience. After this match, we did have Mike Goldberg from Bellator, and he was just talking about how Jake Hager is this great MMA guy, and sort of how he has to do it. And I sort of like it that normally we have like legends come on and talk about how the wrestler is the best. I like sort of they flipped it on the head in the way that Jake Hager was billed as this monster who, look, he has actually got wrestling experience. Look, we've spoken to MMA guys. It's something a bit different that I don't think we really see often of using outsourcing other people.
It was simple enough, really, because it was just MMA guys back, Hager, wrestling guys back, Mox.
Yeah,
adds a bit of legitimacy.
Well. Yeah. After this, we did have Sugar Dunk. I'm going to butcher Sugar Dunk.
Leeds indie wrestling's finest.
Is it where? Is American in there?
He's American, but he's been doing the north scene up here because I think I've seen him at NGW once. I definitely know the name Sugar Dunkerton.
I've heard of him before.
And he does quite a lot in Newcastle, I think, as well as sort of. I know he does title and Leeds quite a lot.
I knew I'd heard of him before, so I knew who he was. Obviously, him versus Sammy Guevara. This sort of sent from a couple of weeks ago. I'm pretty confident Sugar Dunk had a match on Dark where he got impressed, so he'd been brought back and back.
Yeah.
Guevara's
just so cool. Like, this was just...
Guevara's great.
Exactly what I want to see from Guevara. It was just a showcase of everything that I can do. I'm not a fan of the Feast Your Eyes finish. Because it just doesn't look anywhere as good as Dijakovic. And also, a guy like Guevara could probably do something. Like, I know the 6. I was going to say the 6:30, but that messes you up long term. But like,
Ricochet talked about how it. Sorry, just having a drink. But I think with finishes, sometimes you just got to think about: does it look impactful, and does it look impactful for Guevara? Yeah,
he's all right. There's far worse finishes, but I don't know what I'd go for.
Mm-hmm. That's fair enough. But yeah, Sammy G picks up the win, and then he started chatting crap, stomping on Sugar Dunkerton until Darby Allin ran into it. Save. Sammy Guevara ran, sort of building up hype for their quarter-final match.
Yeah, quarter-final.
And then we did get another vignette. It was Big John MacArthur, who was an MMA referee. And then we actually did get the next wrestling match, which was Superback Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford versus Chucky T with Orange Cassidy in his side. Quite a decent, for me, Chuck Taylor, not underrated, but he's a guy who can do comedy, also but have a good match at the same time.
He's a solid hand. You know what you're going to get from him if you put Chuck Taylor in the match. He's a bit of a jack of all trades. I don't want to say master of none, not none, because that's quite harsh, but he's just very well rounded.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, sorry, Kip Sabian picked up the win. I think he did need a win, considering he's got this match with Dustin, and also he doesn't seem to win a lot. And again, Chuck Taylor, a lot. The best friends, for some reason, for me, can eat a loss and not seem weak.
Yeah. No, I get that. Kip's cool. I really like it. But yeah, and then they did that little thing afterwards with like him, Penelope, and Jimmy Havoc and our thing. And they were like, Jimmy Havoc lives with them. I think kayfabe just makes no sense.
I'm guessing because they're both British.
Yeah, but like, do you know what? Like, they're complete opposite. Like, character-wise, like, I don't know.
They shouldn't be together, but I'm guessing we'll find out. I'm guessing it's because they're both British. I wouldn't be surprised if that was their reasoning.
Yeah.
We'll just answer a quick question from Benville Gaming. He's just asked thoughts on Dana Brooke qualifying for the Money in Bank ladder match.
Good.
While it was there, no good. I'm not a big fan of Dana. I don't understand the hype.
I know it's not an original take, but I think Dana's one of the most underrated women's wrestlers. Like, and she did a .com exclusive afterwards, and she's actually a really good face. Like, it was a good.
She's a good. For some reason I can't get behind her.
That's fair enough. I mean, I've got zero interest in Naomi. I've never have done. I don't really get it. So fine by me.
I like Naomi's gimmick. For some reason, the women's division, along with the men's, there's just some characters that I just don't understand. And for me, Dana Brooke was one. What is she, a gymnast? Is that sort of her thing? She's just
hench. She does like cartwheels and stuff. I don't know. She's all right.
Fair enough to her.
The thing is, in the women's division, they don't give anybody wins to build them up.
No. And
Be
that
like,
is a problem.
we'll just go out there and win a random match, and it's like you feel like you don't care because you've been given no reason to care. It's just a spur of the moment victory.
Yeah. Speaking of wins to bin people up, Justin Law versus Sean Spears. Sean Spears squashed him in very quick time, didn't even break sweat, and that was it. Basically, easy win for Sean Spears. But we did get the main event: Jake Hager versus John Moxley in an empty arena, no holds barred match. Now, I
was just going to say Tony Khan really missed the mark with this one, saying it's the best empty arena match in history.
Yeah, I definitely do think it was a letdown. I don't know. Yeah, that's what it was. It was boring. Like I was watching. I had AEW on, and I was like, I'm gonna go on to NXT, even though it might not have even been a better episode. And I don't know whether that is because it was two big guys just trying to battle, but for me, it just didn't capture my imagination.
I didn't react for anything.
No, I think who was on commentary?
Mox hit a paradigm shift, and JR called it by saying "unique takedown." Like, come on.
Right, hot take. I'm not a big fan of JR. I know he's this legendary voice. I would genuinely prefer Excalibur and Tony Schiavone.
Right.
I think Excalibur is great. I just think JR, not past it. I just don't think he's as what he used to be.
JR in what he once was on commentary, but every week I watch the AEW post show on YouTube where Excalibur, Taz, and JR talk for an hour.
Taz is great as well.
And on that, JR is really good and he's really insightful. And like,
do you think
he does still. I don't think he's like Jerry Lawler. I feel like Jerry Lawler can't be asked. I think Jim Ross can be asked, and he is interested. I don't know whether it's old age or like.
I think it's either. I think Jerry Lawler just really wants to do everything, whereas I think JR wants to do this one thing.
I'll come on to some of Lawler's calls tonight. One of them was bad as last week, but yeah.
Yeah, but like with JR, I genuinely think if he's given more time, like with these backstage shows and stuff, where he can actually do his research, but he's watched the whole match without having to do. Because obviously, when you're doing live commentary, you're probably not thinking, okay, is this going to be remembered? You're probably just thinking, right, I need to make sure that people that are listening know what's happening.
Yeah, when you've done it as much as JR, probably isn't paying much attention to what he's saying. It's just natural.
I think he works for the Cody Dustin match. I think he works. I think with a classic wrestling match, he is the perfect commentator for it. But for a match that he should have been great for this one because it was not typical flippy match. Like for your flippy matches and your big showcases, Excalibur should be your lead. Just because all of his knowledge, like was it Kenny Sammy where and he was amazing on commentary, and a couple of the early more matches, the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros as well. He was great on that. Where JR's been great on the more classic wrestling, which
I feel like
it's a good job you've got both.
JR commentates better on people's matches who he has a personal connection with. So I feel like he knows who Cody and Dustin are inside and out, but Jake Hager, he doesn't.
And John Moxley.
I mean, like he knows his wrestling lineage, and therefore it's quite easy to talk about everything Cody Rhodes ever does.
I do think that we will get a great JR in a couple of months when he's really, because if you think about it, it's not even been a year. I think it's nearly just been a year since he signed. But in terms of live shows didn't start until September, right? Or August? Something like that.
It were live shows. The first Dynamite was in October because it was the week of Hell in a Cell.
It's not even been a year yet. So I think once we've got a year, once he knows every single one on that roster, sort of knows a little bit about them more individually.
Yeah, he'll learn.
That's
really patronising and condescending, but the more
considering he's the best.
Yeah, the more shows that happen, the more familiar we'll get with people. So,
and I think we'll just go back to the match a second. I don't know what it was. It was just slow. Like some of the spots were nice. It was vicious, like using of everything around the arena. But it was slow getting. It was like the Edge Orton match without the big, massive spots.
Just going to say it was like Edge Orton. It was just people walking around an arena, not making much noise at a slow pace. And it's just a combination for not that good, man. Yeah.
I enjoyed Edge Orton. I said it. We talked about it in WrestleMania. I enjoyed it. But for me, this was something about maybe because there wasn't that feud. Even though they did a great build-up, like the build-up for me was decent. Like the promos, the online promos, being like everything that went to it was good. It was just the match was a flop.
Look, this was it went way too long, and you can't tell me that you wouldn't have enjoyed Edge versus Orton more if they'd have cut out 10-15 minutes of just walking around slamming heads.
Oh yeah. Well, did you see the thing that came out where they had tons more stuff planned, but obviously they couldn't do it, and apparently the day of the show they had to go. Most of that match was called on the spot because there was apparently tons of stuff they weren't allowed to do. Okay. But yeah, I think that the Moxley Hager match could have been a decent match if possibly they sacrificed some of the boring things for one big spot, or even the ending, just a paradigm shift to end it. I think for me, a last man standing match, it's not even like it's a no holds barred. It should have a big spot finish, like someone get falling off something, and then the cover. I don't think it should be the finisher.
I was just going to say, but I don't know where Hager goes from here. It's like you build a guy up, you give him all the easiest wins, and then it comes to his first big match. He's been shaped.
Yeah, he has.
And I don't know where they take it from here. They'll probably just do what WWE doing with Baszler and just give him loads of wins and try and build him back up again. But
I think he'll
never recover from that first big loss. Just after.
I think he'll. I think he'll recluse back to sort of the bodyguard role. I hope he does anyway. So I think that's where he's great. He's this guy that steps in for Jericho, and it could work well. Overall, though, AEW, a mixed episode. It had a lot of stuff going on. Nothing that was amazing, but there was a lot of stuff that progressed forward. So, like your Colt Lance Archer, and stuff like that. I give it average, like we always do.
A solid 3 out of 5.
Solid 3 out of 5.
Kip and Sammy winning, great, but nothing else really did not for me. Question.
Go on.
Wait, do we want to do it at the end of the thing, or is it a WWE?
Well, if it's a WWE one, we'll go. If it lets me, there we go. We'll go to NXT now. So we might as well answer the question now. As both of them are former NXT alumni. If it loads up, there we go. Thoughts on Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre at Money in the Bank?
Perfect. Even if Seth Rollins' promo this week was shot on a potato.
He was shot on a potato. He also was sat in 2 chairs. I mean, we'll talk about it later.
It's the perfect It's the perfect first feud for Drew. Rollins can get beat and take a loss here. Like Drew,
with his new character, he could have as many losses sort of he wants. Really,
yeah. I like. He can get beat and sort of bounce back because of everything he's done. It's the perfect choice. Yeah, and I think it's been built relatively well as they can do it. Yeah.
Decent.
I'm never going to be able to do NXT on here because
you can't watch it.
BT Sport contract screws it over, and I don't want to watch 10-minute highlights on YouTube because then the full show comes out tomorrow morning. So you're a screen, but I've seen like highlights and stuff. So the first match was Finn Balor versus Fabian Aichner. Sort of just building hype against Voltov, so we don't know when that match is going to happen, but we hope that it's sort of just a build-up. Fabian Aichner and Matt Balthell were both there. They're not very, scary opponents. So it's an easy win for Finn, but still builds hype against Voltov. Eichner's cool. Eichner's really good.
I prefer Marcel Bartel.
Oh no, I prefer Marcel Bartel's in my top 10 wrestlers.
Axel Dietel Jr. Is that what it was?
I don't think I've ever actually spoken about that name, but I rate Marcel Bartel so highly. It's good. It's not NXT, but on main event this week, the main event was Cedric Alexander versus Fabian Aichner, and it was actually such a good match.
I also get main event and stuff still going.
It's on main event, so you don't really need to.
Yeah. Yep. But, what needs to be done? Xylee defeated Aliyah. Yes, that happened.
It sounds like it certainly did happen, and there wouldn't be much more to say.
But we did have our first NXT interim cruiserweight title tournament match. Oh, that's a mouthful. With Akira Tozawa picking up the win against Isaiah Swerve Scott. Really good match. This. Akira Tozawa was great. Scott was great. It was just a good cruiserweight match. So this is a round robin match. So now Tozawa's 1-0 and Scott is 0-1. So I still don't know how it works, but one problem is that Drake Maverick is on the show tomorrow. Yeah, he's been fired.
Is it not a pre-tape?
I don't think this one's pre-tape.
Well, it'll be. Hasn't he been given a 30-day pay for 30 days? So it covers. He's still sort of getting paid to do it, but
I think he's no. I think he's got the 90-day no compete clause. All released main roster members have got 90-day. The NXT ones have got a 30-day paid release.
Oh, right, yeah. I hope Drake Maverick just goes out and just puts on like a 5-star classic.
Well, he's gone on Twitter and he just tweeted like Triple H at Shawn Michaels, you are not ready for this Drake Maverick, something like that. And he showed a picture of his entrance from Progress a couple of years ago. I also do need to find a compilation video of when Drake Maverick went back to the UK. Of Rockstar Spud, when he went back to the UK and he got hit in the head and he pretended and he thought he was a rookie. I really need to find a compilation video because apparently it was one of the funniest things he's ever done. But sorry, going back to NXT. Good call. Tozawa winning. I mean, it's a tournament match, so anything can happen. But
I wouldn't have had to. I prefer Scott, but it doesn't really matter. Like they're both. As long as it was a good match, that's kind of all that matters because it's cruiserweights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, we'll move on to the next match, which is Tegan Nox defeating Raquel Gonzalez. Obviously, after last week, there was beef when Tegan, not last week, the week before, where Tegan Nox put Gonzalez through a table. Shotzi Blackheart obviously came out and helped Tegan Nox because Dakota Kai was there being a little menace. I think this did set up a match for next week for a tag team match, I think. So for tomorrow, I think it's a tag team match for them two. I mean, you're prolonging the feud between Nox and Kai. What more do you want?
What more do I want? Not much.
Not much.
Pretty good. That looks of things, yeah.
After this, you had your boy, Dexter Loomis, defeating Tahuti Miles.
This is going to be my personal highlight of the show.
Just if Dexter Loomis just dominating people.
Yeah, just Dexter Loomis being Dexter Loomis.
So he obviously hits the Uranaga and then Anaconda Vice.
Lovely.
We did have Finn Balor covering the Velveteen Dream. So the Velveteen Dream comes out and cuts his sort of typical promo. And the way it's shot, you just see Finn Balor walking round the back. And then just, instead of attacking though, he just stands and sort of talks, they basically just talk to each other. I forgot his name. Finn Balor basically just warning what might happen when you disrespect Finn Balor. And Velveteen Dream went, well, I'll have you a match next week then. I'm guessing this is because Volta can't fly over, so you can't have that. And then what's happened with Dream and Cole? I'm guessing Cole might be not refusing to wrestle, but saying, like, I don't want to travel.
No idea.
Because I don't think he's been on the show, has he?
I've not seen anything. He hasn't been on NXT for quite a while.
Yeah, I think I'm guessing it's one of the things.
Quite a sensible man who probably wouldn't want to wrestle during these times. Good on him. What are they going to do? Fire him?
Yeah, he's your champion. They're not going to do that. Also, next match, in fairness, tomorrow's NXT is looking decent. Finn Balor versus Velveteen Dream. Then we did have the NXT Tag Team Championship match. So the Undisputed Era came out. So during the show, Pete Dunne was like, "Yeah, I can't travel, but I've got your replacement. Don't you worry." And Matt Riddle kept on trying to ask why, and so the Undisputed Era came out, and there was going, "Oh, Matt, where's your partner? You haven't got one." And then Pete Dunne appears on the screen, and just goes like, "Yeah, I can't do an accent. I can't be there, but his partner is Timothy Thatcher." He says it in a proper Thatcher, and Thatcher comes out, Riddle like smirking and smiling, puts his hand for the fist bump. Thatcher just walks straight past him.
Well, I have never seen a Timothy Thatcher match.
Apparently, he's very good.
Is he like Drew Gulak?
Yes, but more vicious in terms of like headbutts and stuff like that.
Okay.
I haven't really seen much of him, but I know a little bit, not enough. But that's the way to debut a new guy. Great. And we've seen pairing the Riddle Dunne partnership where it's two polar characters working together thing. And I think that's what we're seeing with going to see with Riddle and Thatcher. Sort of two guys who shouldn't team together, but are, and it can work well.
Yeah, Riddle's really good at sort of oddball tag teams.
Yeah.
Cranking teams. I think that's what
yeah.
called.
So then we had, I'm going to say the main event when it really wasn't the main, but Ciampa was backstage cutting a promo, basically saying he was congratulating Gargano, calling him better man, despite of what Gargano and Candice LeRae did.
So obviously I couldn't comment on the Ciampa Gargano match last week.
Yeah.
It was boring. Oh, I did not like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do
you think it needed a crowd?
In there?
With all these matches, do you think it needed a crowd to sort of, when these boring walks through the things are going on, the crowd cheers and stuff and sort of keeps it going?
No.
I think that's what a lot of these matches needed.
No, because I think this match, if it were in front of a crowd, they would not have been anywhere near as electric as they were for the previous three, and it'd have just been a bit of a sad ending in front of a crowd.
What do you think about the ending,
though? I prefer Gargano, so I'm happy Gargano won. I still think it wasn't a Candice LeRae heel turn, not at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Even after when they were both leaving and stuff?
Yeah, no, I don't think that was a heel turn. I just think she was just finishing the feud. Husband. Yeah, she was just doing what's best. She just wants the normal Johnny Gargano back.
Also, if you want something good to watch, go on NXT Juice channel. Candice LeRae and Tegan Knox bake. It's just quite a nice video.
Yeah, that sounds like my thing.
Oh, it was great. But we'll go back to the Ciampa thing. Ciampa was cutting his promo. And then before I could finish speaking, he just got attacked from behind. And then sort of this face appears on the screen. It's Killer Cross. I don't know what his new name is, but it's not. Yeah, he's not Killer.
Carrion, the rotting of dead flesh.
What does that mean?
It's kind of cool. It's not Killer Cross, but it's all right.
Obviously, they won't be allowed to say Killer on the show, but yeah, it's all right.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
It's close to Killer Cross as they're gonna get. Like, they could have fully just given him like an NXT name, like. Well, I don't know. I can't think of one, but like Austin Theory is a proper like NXT name. I know that's what he was before, but
yeah, but that's what he was called before.
Leo Rush, not indie name.
Don't bring up Tino Sabatelli.
He's not been fired. His Insta bio still says NXT Superstar, and there has been no official statement on WWE.com.
Okay, I'm pretty confident Sean Ross Sapp tweeted that Tino Sabatelli was amongst the ones that were fired.
Sean Ross Sapp is not WWE's official account. I'm clinging on.
He isn't, but he got every single release correct when it was happening.
Did he have 100% record? I'm
pretty confident. I'm just going through now. What do you think about NXT's episode from what you've heard anyway?
It looked quite good. It looked stacked. It looks really good. I'm looking for. I didn't really know what happened on it, but I'm looking forward to watching it now. Big time.
Yeah, it was a match with quite a bit of filler. Not a match, sorry, a show with a lot of filler, but it all made sense, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's still going through his thing. It's because I've already scrolled off it. I'm pretty confident Tina Sabatelli was released, but if he's not on the official list, he's not on the official list.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but before we do go on to SmackDown, I just want to have a quick word about The Athletic. The Athletic is an online writing company. They produce many articles, many stuff on all your favourite sports, your football, your NFL, a lot of American sports on this website. Some really not wrestling yet though, not yet, but some great articles. We'll load it up now. Should we talk about? I'll go through them. We'll see the favourite ones. Thing is, if you don't know, NFL, the draft is happening, so they've been producing content coming up for the draft. They do. It's quite an American a lot of American things, but if you're English, it's great. It's just an English website. But yeah, they produce a nice bit of American sports content, football content But if you join the Athletic, you get, if you use the code The Athletic, if you go on the link theathletic.co.uk/the Sports Corner, it is in the description. You can get 50% off the annual subscription. There is also a 7-day free trial on there. And I know what you think. Well, what sports do? Well, they do NHL, MLB, NFL, NBA, football, motorsports, and MMA. So yeah, if you use the code theathletic.co.uk/the Sports Corner, you get 50% off your annual subscription, and there is also a 7-day free trial. So yeah, go give that a watch and a read. Why not? But now, on to SmackDown. Show started off with the first match, which was Tamina beating Sasha Banks. So this was obviously built from last week, where Bayley sort of said, Sasha will wrestle you. If you can beat Sasha, you get a match against me.
But what? Oh, whoa. Have you just skipped Braun Strowman on a moment of bliss?
I have. It's not. That's why it's not on the thing.
How dare you?
Okay, John, I'll let you talk about Braun Strowman.
It was the worst segment of the... Oh, right, so... Bro... Yeah, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross invite Braun Strowman onto a moment of bliss. Strowman found a present waiting underneath the turnbuckle. Wow, what a coincidence. There's a present there waiting. He just presumes it's for him, even though it has no name tag on or anything. He says, oh, Alexa, you shouldn't have got me a gift. You know, Throwback to Mixed Match Challenge, all of which 3 people watched.
I watched Mixed Match. I'm about to say I was one of the other ones. It was fun.
So there was one other person. But Alexa's like, no, I didn't get you a gift, Braun. Oh, you shouldn't have got me a present. No, Braun, I didn't get you a gift. She's telling you. She didn't get you a present. Oh, and then opens it, like, it just made no sense. Opens it up. It's a black sheep mask. Throwback to the Wyatt family days. And then Wyatt's laugh gets played through the speakers and into the arena. But this is Braun Strowman's second SmackDown, right?
As the champion.
As champion. After Brock Lesnar beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 34, could you imagine him on SmackDown on a moment of bliss 2 weeks later? After, I don't know, I
know they're in a predicament, but
after Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3, could you imagine Hulk Hogan on a moment of bliss 2 weeks later?
Yes, I could genuinely could. I think he would suggest it.
Strowman's meant to be a monster. But Strowman is maybe the worst person to be on it, apart from Bray Wyatt himself.
We know the character's been diluted. I don't like that they keep on referencing the Bliss Strowman thing. You should be building Strowman up as this big monster. Yet he's sort of this, trying to be this sort of lovable. Oh, Alexa, yeah, me and you. Don't make sense. The shaking when he saw the mask, like, yeah, I can understand you'd be a bit frightened. It's your demons trying to haunt you. But you wouldn't shake. You'd be like, oh, that's actually quite weird. Why is he sending me that? You wouldn't shake, would you?
Wouldn't. It was weird. Just off topic, if I edit my avatar, does it remove me from the stream?
Possibly.
Oh, no.
Possibly. If you do it, I can talk. Because we'll talk.
Right,
so
yeah.
I'll talk about
because I mean Leo Rush is good and all, but I've got it's time for.
So we will talk about Tamina and Sasha Banks. So obviously last week Tamina came out, sort of threatened Bayley. Bayley went, "Oh, you can have a title match against me if you beat Sasha Banks this week." Sasha was like, "Well, what are you doing that for? I don't want to wrestle." They had a match. Tamina wins. She gets the match against Bayley. I think it's been confirmed for Money in the Bank. Oh, that's what I said. I think it's been confirmed for Money in the Bank, but I do not know.
Wait,
Tamina, Sasha, Tamina, Bayley. As it, okay, yeah. So you have Tamina Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Could be. I'm about to say it could be good. It's not going to be good. It's Tamina.
Harsh words.
True words.
If I'm looking forward to it, the answer is no.
After this, we did have a squash match. Denzel Dejournette, who's been on Raw and SmackDown quite a bit in these squash matches, losing to Sheamus. Meh. Who cares? We did get a nice little vignette of Jeff Hardy, sort of hyping up his return. Not hyping up his return, but sort of, you know what I mean, trying to get this heat.
Yeah.
And the fire burning.
With him are really good, like the whole
Yeah. Really. Then we had a backstage promise. Lacey, we don't care. We did have women's.
Whoa! You can't just say we don't care. Lacey Evans isn't that bad.
But it's just a backstage promo. Like, who cares?
What? She had Sasha Banks inside the no smoking sign.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
You don't like Lacey Evans, do you?
Well, I don't mind, but it's a backstage promo, Simon. It's backstage. What are you supposed to say? Like? Fine, Lacey Evans was amazing. She got a great promo backstage. Yep. She even had Sasha Banks' name on her hand. Oh, the mentalist.
All right. It wasn't the highlight of SmackDown.
But we did have our first women's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Naomi versus Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke picking up the win. I don't know what you think, but I definitely wouldn't have put Dana Brooke there. Just because it's a ladder match. I think Naomi could have done more special stuff than Dana could. Not that I'm not going to crap on Dana. I just think Naomi, we've seen her before, she will do a bit more special stuff than I think. Was Dana in one of the Money in Banks before where I didn't know she were in there? I think was she in last year's or the year before? Was she in there?
But you just said Naomi would be good because it's a ladder match. But is it a ladder match?
Yeah, well, it's a wacky match. She's going to do something wacky.
Like, instead of climbing the ladder, aren't we just going up in elevators?
Yeah, but that could be cool. Like, we could have some. No, I think it would just be. I was watching a stream yesterday, and someone commented was like, "I want it to be like a heist movie where the briefcase is locked up high, and we see turns, we see betrayals, we see sort of stupid wackiness, like someone goes in a lift, but someone's chasing after them up the stairs, and stuff like that." I think they've nearly had 4 weeks to film and edit it. This could be a really fun match, both of them. I'll try and load up the participants if I can find it, because we'll have a quick talk about like sort of who could be sort of the big names. And so you've obviously got is Dana Brooke, Shayna. Who else is being qualified? Dana, Shayna.
I cannot remember.
I think I've got it here. Money in the Bank 2020. We've got Asuka, Shayna, Nia, Dana, Lacey, Sasha, and apparently there's one more.
Yeah, there's interested.
It's a 7 match. I didn't know there was a 7. It was a 7 Money in the Bank ladder match. We'll come on to it at Raw as well, but I don't agree with one of the results. But we'll come on to it at Raw.
Right, okay.
I must have.
Yeah. I called them both, and you were adamant that someone was gonna. We'll come on to it.
I've definitely missed something here because
have you?
I didn't know that it says Corbin and Gulak are both in the match. In the men's match.
No, it doesn't say Corbin or Gulak.
It does. It does say Corbin. See, that's what you get with me, professionalism, because it says Lacey or Sasha So you get professionalism with me. Right. No. I don't even know who I'd rather want in that match. Yeah. Anyway, that's the Money in the Bank card. Yeah. What else can you say? Dana could. I hope Dana has a great showing, but there's no crowd. That's in what you put as your image. There's no crowd, and I think Dana only works well with crowd. We saw her at Mania when, for some reason, she got one of the strangest pops. It was at Mania 34 or 5.
Yeah, but it was in New York, so wasn't it?
Yeah, but I suppose that's like saying.
You have just seen my image. I can't wait to talk about it.
And we did have then. We had Brian versus Cesaro in a great match, a great SmackDown match. Gulak on the outside. I think Nakamura was with Cesaro. Brian picking up the win to be put into the Money in the Bank match. No complaints.
No complaints. Brian in the match.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah. I mean,
I did miss the segment, but
Cesaro could be a little bit. Cesaro would be a good addition, but it was a good TV match. And Brian, you can never rule out Brian.
I think Brian could win. Brian's won the Money in the Bank before.
Yeah, I think Brian, he's got a very good chance. Who's actually in this match?
The men.
I think I know who wins.
Apollo, Ray, someone, Corbin or Gulak.
Mysterio and Black.
Yeah.
And
Black, yeah.
Yeah, we'll come on to it. But
we'll come on to it.
My opinions on who wins.
We did get a promo from Sonya Deville. It was a great promo. It sort of came out, and Oyster just came out and was sort of pleading with Mandy, and then she just turns and sort of just cuts a serious promo. How you were just so infatuated with Otis, you weren't infatuated with me. How are we supposed to get these tag team titles when you were thinking about other things? And then she just Ziggler sort of comes out to sort of go like, calm down, what are you doing? And boom, absolutely lamps Mandy. Ziggler sort of looks concerned for Mandy, and I don't know. I thought like Deville and Ziggler's partnership was just going to be them two together, but he sort of seemed not siding with Mandy, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the word I would like. More shocked that Sonya's done this, where them two were sort of they were mates, weren't they? He was annoyed.
It was a really good segment, but just the fact that Fire and Desire have split up over Big Boy Otis. Like, can you take him like this? It feels like a big serious feud, strangely enough. But can you take it seriously when it gets to the culmination of the segment and there's Otis just hitting the caterpillar?
I've currently got it on in the background.
Funny, I'm really off-putting. I
do feel sorry for Ziggler here. So Sonya hits Mandy, and Ziggler's like, "No, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And so Sonya's attacking, but as we know in the rules of wrestling, you can't break up a fight. So Ziggler's still trying to play with Sonya while he's booting. Otis runs out and attacks Ziggler. Now, personally, Ziggler hasn't done anything wrong in this segment. Like, if he hasn't,
no, he hasn't.
And Ziggler has just been absolutely thing. And then Ziggler's like, "Well, I'm going to have to save Sonya now because Otis has just attacked me." I don't like. I'm losing steam with Otis. I can't believe I'm saying it. I like the Mania moment.
They always give a guy. If someone has that big Mania moment, that big sort of top of the mountain crowning, they don't know how to capitalise on it, and then everything they do afterwards just seems lame. Like, have you seen What Culture put out a video this week saying, "Is Drew McIntyre the new Roman Reigns?"
Oh no, that's What Culture, innit?
2.5 weeks after he won the title, like, come on.
I know, like, we're going to.
The only point, like, Drew's title reign has been pretty much perfect.
Yeah, he's been serious, he's been funny. I think the reason people do try crap on it is because sort of we're not. It's because there's no crowd and people sort of can do what they want. Really,
yeah. I think it's just WWE fan mentality. As soon as someone gets to the top of the mountain, it's all about kicking him off that mountain. putting someone else on there.
Comparing him to what people that were there before.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you can do, because if you did that, you'd be like, compare Jinder Mahal to CM Punk. No, because they are two very different people.
They are two very different things, but I really like Jinder Mahal's title reign. Yesterday I actually watched back the moment when he beat Randy Orton.
Of course you did.
The moment you loved it. I'm not even like it's actually a really good moment. Like the reactions are just hilarious. Yeah, have you seen that interview that Jinder Mahal says he's ready to go, like he's ready to come back whenever TV want him?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that.
Oh, well. Shame.
Yeah, like Jinder Mahal for me, I'm not invested.
Fair enough. I mean, like a lot of the wrestlers I'm invested in, it's just because I find them quite funny. Like,
yeah, well, they are funny, but
we'll come on to Brandon Vink.
All right, yeah, we will. After this, we did have Corbin attacked Elias backstage. Don't care. Then we did. Go on, then. Go on. Try to defend Corbin.
It went through an ad break, and still there was not a single referee in sight to break it up.
Yeah, because it was lockdown, innit? No one can get there.
I guess. I don't know why this feud's happening, and I don't care. So, yeah, we can't.
Yeah. Then we did have the triple threat match. So, the Miz versus Big E versus Jey Uso in the SmackDown Tag Team Title triple threat match. What are your opinions on
it? It was a solid match. Yeah, I don't really know what there is to say. I wasn't expecting a title change. I don't think there was any need to take the belts off Miz and Morrison. Hey ho ho. But
no need.
The New Day, they're a bit like Charlotte Flair, aren't they? Like they want as many. Like the title reign doesn't mean anything. It's just a number, and they just want to get that number as high as they can, so they can be like, "Oh, look at them! They are a 30-time champion." A lot of people think this is the start of a Big E heel turn. No.
Oh, I tell you what, I wouldn't mind it. I would not mind it.
New Day should be lifers. You can have Big E as a main eventer as part of the New Day, as part of the face of the company.
But he's not. For me, he's not going to be a main eventer with the New Day because you've already had it with Kofi.
But whatever any of these three do on their own will not be as good as the New Day. And I don't think any of them ever want them to be broken up. Like they're too good for like publicity and for like merch. Like
they make an absolute whack, like a wedge of cash for them.
They won't break them up solely because I think to an extent they have transcended into the mainstream, and that's all you can. That's all you.
I won't say mainstream, but you can put them on a show that doesn't do wrestling, and people will tune into wrestling because they are entertaining. All three of them. But I was just thinking, I crapped on you for saying Big E can be main event, but thinking about it, Big E as the Universal Champion, Kofi as the Intercontinental, and then Xavier Woods as King of the Ring. Just because I know it's one of Xavier Woods' thing of he wants to be King of the Ring champion.
Yeah, but
that could work really well.
I think it's just people getting carried away with fantasy booking. Like,
oh yeah,
they shouldn't. It'd be a bad idea. Everyone involved. Yeah.
But going back to the match, correct result. I think you need a title change to keep it a bit fresh. I'm guessing Miz won't be on the show much because surely he'd want to be at home with his wife and kids in this sort of time and thing. With other superstars, I think Big E, I'm pretty confident. I'm not going to judge, but I'm pretty confident he hasn't got like a family and stuff.
Big E has said he never wants kids. He revealed this on the New Day podcast.
I need to watch? I might go on a binge one day and listen to all because I know
they're really good.
Mm-hmm. So he can be on these shows and stuff like that. The one problem is Kofi might not because he might want to be his family. You could even have Xavier Woods on the show. in a cast, and then it's this whole thing of he's their technical champion, the New Day technically champions, but because Xavier Woods can't defend because of his injury, Big E always has to do it. And it's...
Could you imagine flying someone out from like wherever Woods lives to Florida every week, only for him to do nothing and just limp around?
I'm trying to think if
it's not essential travel.
Does he live? If he lives in Orlando,
yeah, then they could maybe.
I think it'd just be good if then you could build Big E's like, well, he's defended these titles by himself for 3 months, and then that could lead him to getting a big singles title. I think he's already won a singles title. He won in the United States, didn't he?
He lives in Atlanta, Georgia, which isn't far off.
No, but probably if he's injured, he probably travel.
Big E was IC champion because I think he beat Curtis Axel.
Yeah.
Because last night I was reliving Curtis Axel's first month in WWE when he beat Cena and Triple H in his first 2 matches.
When he became a Paul Heyman guy as well. Was that it? Was that then? Is that how he did?
Yeah.
Poor Curtis Axel, and then he hasn't even been on the show.
He's not wrestled since, I think it's like November. No, he hasn't wrestled since Super Showdown last year in June.
Oh, poor Curtis.
Nearly a year.
I would like to say we did, that was the main event, but we did get a segment throughout the show after Brian, where the hacker appeared and said he promised to deliver the truth to SmackDown. Right,
so there's reportedly 2 hackers, isn't there?
Okay, I'm just looking, showing clips of a lot of tag teams. They've shown Usos, Miz and Morrison, Bayley, Sasha, New Day, Nikki, Alexa. I'm just seeing if they've shown anyone else. No one else.
Do you know who they're both meant to be?
Well, one's going to be Ali. It's got to be.
Yeah.
The rings. The other one, I've heard rumours of Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas.
No, neither of them. Drum roll, please. Spoiler alert. Shorty G.
Yeah,
okay. That was my reaction.
Yeah, it's a choice.
It gets him doing something, and if it means he goes back to Chad Gable, it's a win in my eyes.
Yeah, I suppose. Exactly. I don't know what to say about it because when
it's a weird pairing.
It doesn't. It's like Ali. I can understand. Like they're teasing it. He's the light. He is sort of like his gimmick. Sort of makes sense. Like he brings the light and stuff like that. He's trying to bring light to the shows and stuff. Like bring right. What does Chad Gable have anything? He's a wrestler. He's very good at the actual proper wrestling. Where do you get this?
The real one.
I can't wait for it to revealed because I think it will be definitely not as, oh my god, it'll be a bit flattening. But I've actually been quite enjoying the hacker gimmick.
Well, we'll see I'm interested because I don't know how it's going to play out. So
well, that was SmackDown. That was SmackDown. What do you think? Again, it's another build-up show. Yeah, it was decent. It was just a 3 out of 5. It was solid. It was just another build-up show. Now I've just did another slide while we were talking. I'd just like to mention 2 things. So one, also with a lot of the release wrestlers, we'll talk about it in the main event segment. But Heath Slater released a new T-shirt, which is "I Got Fired," which I quite like.
Yeah,
and
he's making light of it, isn't it? So.
Yeah, a lot of them are as well. Just the other thing that I want to touch upon is the tweet about Ziggler. So Ziggler's been going through a lot of people's pro wrestling tees and been buying shirts from them. So, but the thing is, he hasn't gone out on Twitter and said this. Apparently, he's just been doing it all incognito and stuff. And I just thought that was a nice little
good guy, Dolph.
Good guy, Dolph. I was looking right. Dolph Ziggler, as much as he can come across as a prick, I think he's actually quite a nice guy.
Oh, if you ever watch or listen to any interviews of him, outside of wrestling, he's just proper sound. Like his comedies. Yeah, he's a good guy. Good. It's just because of what he does on TV. People are the biggest fans, but
yeah,
no, he's cool.
Also, did you see? So Zack Ryder tweeted like, "Oh, I've got some new shirts coming out. We're getting some new figures on Pro Wrestling Tees." And the Miz probably was just joking underneath, but and you dissed my T-shirt design. And then I chuckled because I was like, that's kind of funny because Miz's T-shirt been good and saw that T-shirt amazing. Zack Ryder underneath just put, yeah, but you haven't been released and have to make merch in 3 days. And I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, Ryder took it a bit seriously, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought it was a joke, and then it was
Cardona took it seriously.
Yeah. We'll talk about it in the main event, but it'll be interesting to see where everyone goes. But we will go on to a Monday Night Raw. For some reason, WWE have changed their articles, so if I do miss anything, just let me know, because not everything is on there. But show started off with Drew McIntyre challenging Seth Rollins to a WWE title match at Money in the Bank. It comes out. Do you know when Cena used to come out and he used to say something to the camera before he ran down? Drew sort of took that thing because he said, hello to all the cool cats and kittens, like, do you know Carol Baskin's thing from Tiger King?
I know nothing about this. I've just heard the name.
Yes, Tiger King is this mental documentary on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, watch it. And there's a character. There's a real person called Carol Baskin, and she did her own live show every week. And she started off with, hello to all you cool cats and kittens. And Drew McIntyre was quite funny. We talked about earlier about how he's been able to blend funniness with serious and being a great champion.
It's pop culture, isn't it?
Yeah.
And WWE like nothing more than a good pop culture reference.
But yeah, issue challenge. Andrade did attack him with a sneak attack, but he did hit Claymore kicks on Andrade. One problem I think we're going to see with Raw is we're going to remember this time for the time where Selena Vega, Austin Theory, Andrade, Angel Gaza were the pillars, and Drew McIntyre were the pillars of Monday Night Raw. In terms of on there every week, just wrestling their hearts out, more or less.
And I think apart from the reason why this is happening, I think we'll look back on this as sort of a really good period of Raw TV.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm worried that when we go back to crowds, we're not going to get like these people. Like, for me, Austin Theory won't be on Raw if we have a crowd. He'll be on Raw, but I don't think he'll be such as a focus. Who else?
Yeah, he won't be as dominant. Just everyone, like Apollo Crews is getting his time to shine because
of it.
Not many people. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Akira Tozawa would never be on any of these shows. Yeah, he's been on quite consistently. But it's a shame that they won't be able to stay there, but what can you do? We did get our first match, and it was a Money in the Bank qualifying match. For the men's, it was Aleister Black versus Austin Theory. Aleister Black picking up the win with a lovely looking black mask, sort of just hits him on the neck. Theory sells it, does a lovely flip.
I really like the fact that he went for the black mask. Theory blocked it, and then there was a little back and forth, and then like 2 seconds later, Black hit the black mask. But it just gives Theory a little bit more credibility because he escaped it like twice, I think.
Yeah.
All day real superstar Austin Theory.
Has he shaved his beard?
Yes.
Thank God.
For it, yes.
Because I watched the NXT thing where it was like Austin Theory's first WrestleMania, where it's them out of character talking about everything. And oh my God, that beard. It just didn't suit him. I mean, I can't say anything with my lack of facial hair, but it just didn't suit him.
And that man's 22 years of age.
It's mental, isn't
it? He could go for another 33 years, and like the Undertaker's still going now at the age of 55.
I know. I genuinely think.
3 years.
I think he'll be high main event. Genuinely, I think he's been propelled, and surely Vince likes him. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep him on the show. They could easily have got rid of him.
He's money. He's money in the same way that I kind of think Tino Sabatelli was money. Like, in ring, we've not seen anything particularly flashy. But oh my days, he's got the look.
He's got the look.
And that's all you need.
His promos aren't particularly amazing, but again, he's 22 years old.
Yeah.
He's literally 2 years older than me.
I don't think enough gets made about that because, like, everyone constantly goes on about how Pete Dunne, Velveteen Dream, and Tyler Bate are so young. Maybe it's just me, but I've not really heard Austin Theory's age thrown around that much.
No, but I think just because people just presume he's a bit older, and then you look and it's like, well, is he the same age as Tyler Bate? How old's Tyler Bate?
I think Bate might be 23.
It's a Tyler Bate is 23. Dream is 26, isn't it?
Is it?
I'm pretty confident that's the Velveteen Rabbit. The Velveteen Dream is
24.
24. Oh, right, okay, maybe he's not as old as.
Obviously, Dream's got quite a bit more experience, and like Austin Theory's still quite raw, not great.
22 though.
I don't want to say he's learning on the job because like he's quality, and he's obviously he's been like evolved champion and stuff, but
yeah, you
can tell he's sort of learning as he goes.
Well, it's still
I like seeing young. I think it's cool to see people sort of evolve and develop week by week. So
he's still technically young in his wrestling career. I think, like, it's just mental to say that 3 people like Dream, amazing in NXT, one of the most popular. Tyler Bate is an incredible wrestler. Austin Theory is really coming into his own. Yet they're all 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years older than me. It is absolutely mental.
Austin Theory debuted in 2016, which is just obscene.
Yeah, he was 18. He must have been 18, mustn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Jesus. Oh, no, 16. No, 18. 18 because he's 2 years older, yeah. I'm about to say 16, Jesus. Yeah, he's also got a great...
I debuted when I was 16.
Oh,
albeit not in WWE.
You could have been Austin Theory, Sam, if you kept at it.
What could have been?
What could have been? You could have been on WrestleMania. We did have another squash match. Shayna Baszler defeating Indy Hartwell, the Australian. Again, this is Shayna's gimmick now. Break people's arms. What's really left to say? It could get quite boring in the future of her just break it and then off. Like, I hope they don't dilute it too much.
Right, so the referee stopped the match without checking on how Hartwell was.
Yeah.
What if she was all right to continue?
I mean, I don't think she was all right to continue, but I know what you mean.
It's nitpicking, but make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Make it look real. Yeah. Apart from that, it was pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
It's the smallest of nitpicks.
Before I move on, I'm going to let you do it.
Oh,
do you
is
want
it
to talk
now?
about it's not on my list, but I'm pretty confident it was around this time.
Right.
Do you want to talk about the Viking Raiders?
I'd love to. I really want to get like a dialogue of it up, but I can't seem to find anything. But basically, I just really want to find the dialogue.
Should we find it now?
Right, so it's just a minute. That's all it is. Just a minute of the Viking Raiders in a car filming them, and they're on the road, presumably going from show to show. Cool. And what are they doing in the car? Well, it's a bit of carpool karaoke with the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar. I've never been interested in the Viking Raiders. I've always just thought like they're good, but the big guys who do kind of cool things. Like obviously, they're athletic big guys, but it's never quite connected with me. I'm more into them now after this than I've ever been.
Oh, of course you are.
Right, I know you've got completely contrasting view, but basically, I think it's Ivar, like Eric will say something and he'll be like, yeah, we've come to conquer the tag team division. And then Ivar will shout, Viking Raiders. Whilst I think it's Ivar. No, I don't know which one's which. But the one on the left,
Ro is not the thinner one, but he's got the smaller face.
Is that Eric or Ivar though?
Eric? I don't know.
Ivar was the one on the left. So Ivar was just eating was it like a massive just like chicken bone? Turkey leg.
Yeah.
It was. It was the least Viking Raiders thing imaginable. And they looked like they were just going to laugh throughout the entire thing.
I would have as well. It's rumoured.
It was. it was just, it was obscene. Like, it was so weird.
It's rumoured that this was going to be Revival's gimmick. And they've took it. It's rumoured.
Okay. Well, I can guarantee that the Revival wouldn't have been gnawing on a turkey leg, so that's better than it has been.
They would have been chugging on a beer.
Everybody on this online hates this. When I watched it this morning, did I absolutely hate it and think it was ruined? Yes. And then I had an hour or so to reflect. Look, if it's made me more interested in what they're doing, albeit for the wrong reasons, I'm all in. I want this to become a weekly segment. I know I don't speak for the majority. I know I like the stupid, wacky wrestling that I shouldn't do, and I know I like all the wrong wrestlers. But this was fantastic. A+. Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong.
Right. Okay. I'm not going to tell you wrong because we're allowed to have different opinions. These two are the most athletic big guys you've got on your roster. Build them as that. Build them as Vikings. Don't care. They can go around grunting all they want and eating meat. Don't get them driving a car. Drives a car. It's modern. The modern Vikings. Don't get them singing along, driving a car, eating meat. I didn't watch the segment live. I was watching something, and this guy was singing along. I genuinely thought they was doing SpongeBob SquarePants. I thought one of them were going Viking Raiders.
I can see that now you said it.
And I was just like, I don't want to watch it. I did eventually watch the segment. I thought, these two guys are incredibly athletic for their size. They're doing moves that really big guys don't do on the main roster.
They are probably the best big man tag team in the world.
Oh my God.
So, of course, why wouldn't you have them do carpool karaoke? Like, what is the mind of Vince McMahon? Oh,
I genuinely think this was going to be Revival's gimmick. Revival went, nope, we are not doing that. Bye-bye. And they eventually got the release because they just went, no.
Yeah, right. So, just think back. So, it was after WrestleMania last year when Viking Raiders debuted as the Viking Experience. Think about the promos that they used to cut in the smoky room with the Viking helmets on. Like, intense, intimidating, scary, before they came out and killed some jobbers.
A year later.
And here we are. But the thing about it is, here we are with absolutely zero build. Like, nobody could have seen this coming. And I think that's what makes it even funny.
It's not like we've even had backstage segments of them eating meat.
Yeah.
It's genuinely just been up in a car.
Like 2 weeks ago, or it might even just been last week, they beat Ricochet and Alexander.
Yeah, last week.
Like, I think though, Vince thinks this is what people like, and this will make them relatable to like kids and marketable to kids.
Yeah,
with, like, the stuff like this.
You need your stupid things in wrestling. You don't need this. It's my thing. You need your New Day comedy. You don't need the Viking Raiders comedy.
The Viking Experience name was on the wrong side of being bad. This is on the complete right side of being bad. I can understand.
Is over the river.
And if it was somebody that I was really invested in, I'd be like, if they had Leo Rush, Jinder Mahal, and Tino Sabatelli in a car doing this, I'd be livid. But I don't really enjoy it because that'd be a really good combination. But I think it's because I'm not that bothered about them. Like, I'm just.
The thing is, I'm not a massive Viking Raiders fans, but I'm just a wrestling fan. And you've just got them singing in a car. If this was in a boat, whole different situation. I tell you.
Like, just look at that. Look at my avatar. What is there not to love about a 350-pound man yelling in his car whilst eating a turkey leg with face on?
Yelling his own name.
It's wrestling personified.
We will move on though. Speaking of tag teams, we did have a tag team match. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander beating Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink. My
boy Brendan Vink. Oh, what a man. I figured out what it is that's so funny about him.
Go on.
He has got his body is so big. He's got nothing on it. He doesn't wear wrist tape or anything. He's got no tattoos. and he moves like he's 12 feet tall. Like he moves like he just can't. Like he can't
operate.
Like, the thing that you get told when you're trained to be a wrestler is whatever you're gonna do in that ring, you've got to times it by 10. Make everything larger than life. Brendan Vink times is everything by 20. He's just the thing is, I really like Shane Thorne. Like, I like Shane Thorne as a wrestler. Like, he's my kind of wrestler. Brendan Vink's just funny. Like, and I don't
pair together because they're Australian as well.
I think he can put on proper good matches. Like, I don't doubt it. And Jerry Lawler didn't help because Jerry Lawler just kept calling him, I like this Vink guy. It's a cool name. Oh, I thought Vink had him then. And he was basically just taking the piss out of his name.
Vink. Who retweeted? Could be Sean Verstappen saying, "I'm surprised Jerry King Lawler just didn't come out with an Australian stereotype." I think it was Tim Tam the Vink Man was one of them.
So yeah, apart from being mesmerised by Brendan Vink, and I promise this is my little like enjoyment. Like
I'll let you have it.
More back to back. But this actually was a really good match. Ricochet and
great result as well.
Slick.
I just don't like that they've been paired together because they're both black.
Oh, I don't think it's anything to do with that.
Do. I really do. They are flippy guys.
No.
I can just imagine Vince going, oh, them two. Oh, no, I'm just worried. Ricochet should be on his own. Look at what he did in NXT. You know what? Cedric should be on his own as well. He's great. They're just putting him together because they're both similar types of wrestlers. And they're both flippy guys who can do these cool different moves. I'm like,
right. So, they wrestle the exact same style. Is it lazy how they've been put together? Yes, absolutely, because there was no build or anything. Like, it's not quite Dana Brooke and Carmella levels.
Yeah.
But like, when they like, it's lazy, but watching this match, like, entertaining. Like, they've got a cool move, but well, and I'm on, it's lazy, but I'm on board with it.
As long as you're on board, it's all we need. After this, we did have a repeat of last week's match. Nia Jax defeating Kairi Sane. First of all, what was the point of this match? Second of all, did you see the spot of Nia Jax powerbombing Kairi Sane? Completely misses the top rope. Just straight to the bottom rope. Kairi whelps.
It's a hard watch.
I don't like Nia. I will be honest. Ever since she debuted, for me, there's something I can't get behind. Genuinely, I'm more invested in Tamina. If you're talking about these big women wrestlers in terms of stature, I'm more invested in Tamina.
Look, like I was saying, it'll be good to get Nia Jax back in the fold, but it becomes hard to defend after that buckle bomb. Was it a buckle bomb? Was it meant to be a buckle bomb?
I don't know. I don't think it was, considering the whelp Kairi made after.
Like, it was
like she wasn't expecting to hit that bottom rope.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Like when Nia had the match against Alexa at Mania, it's bad, but I was rooting for the heel. And after everything that happened,
of course you are. It's typical big person, but like it's storytelling 101, David versus Goliath, and it doesn't work if the big person's the face and the little person's the heel. Like, you're gonna root for the little one because you want them to overcome the odds. Like, it's flawed psychology.
Like, even after everything Alexa, as a larger man, even after everything Alexa said about Nia's size, I'm like, I don't care. Nia, for me, just doesn't have it, because clearly I don't have it. But like, there's something about her which I just can't get behind, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what she could do, but yeah.
Yeah, no,
we did have, after this, we did have another men's Money in the Bank qualifying match. It's time Apollo Crews defeating MVP. Good match. It was actually surprising.
I can't believe you thought MVP were going to win.
For some reason, I just didn't see Apollo Crews being in the match. I thought they'd go for the veteran, like, who's been in so many matches.
Yeah. Yeah, it's understandable when you put it like that. But
Apollo Crews is slowly turning me around as well.
Like, Apollo's always had it. He's just never been given a chance. Like,
for me, he's never had the character.
I was thinking about making him my avatar today, but he just lost out to Ivar. which I wouldn't have thought I'd said this time yesterday. But,
yeah.
And I forgot what Apollo Crews' finishing move was, and it sounds like I've just had a really bad week.
Before you say it, does he put them up? Does he lift them up with both hands, hands them over the head, drops them, then does a backflip or a moonsault?
No, have you not seen it?
No, I haven't seen the match.
I couldn't remember.
I haven't seen the ending.
The finisher is, but I remember now.
What is it?
So it's that. So he hits gorilla press, standing shooting start, but then
that's what I meant.
Up for a spin powerbomb.
Oh, nice.
But he sits out when he does it. It's quite cool. It's all right.
I love a good sit out powerbomb.
Go on Apollo Crews. I'd love to see Apollo Crews with the briefcase. Will he win? He won't win it. No,
he won't win it.
Go on Apollo. That's what I say.
I think this could be a match where he does, because he is this quick, nippy guy. Like in this match, he could just be pinging it up and down the stairs, like trying to. I'd like if it were a mate. We'll talk about it at the next qualifying match, but I'd love to see if it was like a maze. Yeah, I think someone else should have been in this match. We'll talk about that. Yep. We did have Liv Morgan defeating Ruby Riott. Why is this match happening? Liv Morgan gets the win. Well done.
Why is this match happening? Why is this match happening? I don't know. I just kind of
just saw them on the show.
I just watched it. Yeah, like it was there.
Oh, we forgot to mention poor Sarah Logan. So it was rumored that Sarah Logan was going to appear on the show. Ryan Satin, Sean Ross Sapp, PW Insider. All reported that someone who was fired was going to be on the show this week. It turns out that they went back and they didn't appear on the show. But Sarah Logan was on the show on Raw more than she was the previous year. They kept on referencing how Shayna had broken Sarah Logan's arm. It's like they tried to gimmick Sarah off TV, but even though they've had to put out a press statement saying Sarah's been fired, they still tried to use her as an injury angle.
They are such a terrible company.
They are, aren't they?
They're trying to use that as an excuse to write off TV forever.
Sarah Rose is just sat at home. She can't call Sarah Logan anymore. She's sat at home, and then she's like, "The hell? I'm on Raw. Oh, I'm not even with the company." And he's right. It's the same with Drake Maverick being in the Cruiserweight tournament. But I do think it's different because it's NXT, and I think maybe I know this is going to sound not biased, but I do feel like Triple H or someone has gone, "We know you've been fired, but we need you for this tournament. Could you do it?" And I feel like with Sarah Logan, I'm pretty confident no one told her, asked her. I don't know why. The way it was shot and produced, I just feel like, they weren't there.
I didn't hear any mention of Sarah Logan, obviously.
She mentioned shit. Yeah. On the actual line. But we'll go on to the, I think the final Money in the Bank qualifier match of the show. Yep. It was Rey Mysterio defeating Murphy.
I can understand why you thought Murphy was going to win, but man, this was Mysterio's.
Now, why should...
Go on, tell us.
Why? I just don't understand. Murphy, he had these amazing showings on SmackDown when he got called up initially. He's gone over to Raw and he had some great showings against Black. He's joined Seth Rollins' group. He's been great for their as sort of the sidekick. He's got a chance to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Why not put someone young, someone different in the match, rather than having Rey Mysterio, who we know is not going to win? Or if he does win, I wouldn't care. I think in the match, I would care. The only two people, let's say if Corbin qualifies, if Corbin or Mysterio would win, I wouldn't care. I'd rather have Apollo win. Murphy is so good and underrated, in my opinion. Why not put him in the match?
I really like Murphy. Back end of 2018, Murphy was in my top 5 wrestlers. When he beat Cedric Alexander in Melbourne at Super Showdown, I was all on board with Murphy. But I don't know. I never believed he was going to win this.
For some reason, I was like, MVP is going to win and then have that MVP as your old guy. I just presumed Murphy was going to win. I think he should have won.
Murphy's good, but the answer is he's not Rey Mysterio. Ray's just Ray. Ray's always...
Ray's always Ray, but surely we talk about old-timers coming back. I know Ray's full-time, but old-timers coming back and sort of taking spots away from people who should be in. Why does Ray deserve to be in there? He's already had all this.
I don't think that logic applies though, because Mysterio's still a full timer.
He is, but for me, I just believe Murphy should have been in there over him, and the match would have been not more insane because Ray is incredible, and the match will still be good because Ray is incredible for his age. I think you switch MVP and Ray around and have Ray unfortunately beat Apollo.
No, you just don't have MVP anywhere near it.
As an MVP doesn't qualify, sorry. As in Murphy beats MVP, Ray beats Apollo.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I'd rather have Murphy over Apollo.
No, I'm not sure.
I'd have both if I could, but if I could have one, I'd have both.
I'd have both if I was being made to pick. But I don't think Murphy lost anything here.
No, he didn't.
Such a good match. But
I just think he should be in it.
This is good. It's going to be a historic match, and I'm sure he'd like to be part of it. So.
Also, if you don't know actually what's happening, because I don't think we've actually the show, the actual 2 Money in the Bank matches are going to take place in the headquarters.
I'd just like to say as well that the poster for the event is one of the nicest in recent.
It's great. So you've got your four champions all. Well, I'm sure who's the Raw Women's champion?
No, you haven't got your 4 champions because it's Charlotte instead of Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I've just realised. I was like, "Where's Becky?" Becky's not there.
Yeah, weird.
That is weird. But the problem is 4 champions, so Charlotte, Drew, Braun, Bayley, all on top of the headquarters, while ladders and briefcases are inside the building, going up the building. A bunch of wrestlers all on the thingy, climbing to get to the top. They climb the corporate ladder. I'm really looking forward to this. When he got sort of revealed that it leaks that they could see camera stuff being filmed on top of the thing, it immediately turned it for me. I'm hoping it's like Scooby Doo when they're running through the corridors and the doors and they're all missing each other. I just want stuff I want wackiness.
So, I want wackiness. I think it'll be all right, but so long as it's not like Edge versus Orton and just slamming.
No, it won't.
Walls for an hour.
There's enough people in the match where I think it'll be fast paced.
Okay, that's cool. I have no idea how it's going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
And where are they hanging the briefcase from?
On top, there's a ring on top of the building.
But what's it hanging from?
A crane.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm pretty confident.
Right.
From what you can see of the images.
I've not actually looked at the images.
Are we 2 weeks out from it? 3 weeks?
It's on May 10th, so I think it was 3 weeks from this Sunday, so about 2.5. We've got 3 SmackDowns and 2 Raws.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It will be fun. We'll go back to Monday Night Raw though. Charlotte Flair beating Kaden Carter.
Cool.
Yeah. What you needed. Yeah. Andrade defeating Akira Tozawa. Again, what you needed. Akira Tozawa obviously tried to build momentum off the win on NXT. Couldn't, but he's getting on the shows often. Could be one of the standouts of the lockdown in terms of being on the shows consistently and having good performances.
Because I was cool, but I can't see him ever getting pushed. I just can't see him.
I don't think he will.
Yeah.
I genuinely hope he becomes interim champion, in NXT.
Oh.
It'll be hard to get behind him. I don't know how good his English. I'm guessing his English is good. He's lived in America for a while, hasn't he? I'm about to say, I thought it would be good. I know, obviously, he's originally Japanese, but I'm very confident he's lived in America for 10 years. So I remember watching a PWG clip of him.
It's just on 205 Live, he cut promos regularly.
Did it? We were good. What was promos like?
Pretty decent.
Decent?
I don't quite know how to describe him, but they're right. His mic skills won't be an issue.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's what you want. We did have Bianca Belair defeating Santana Garrett. Right.
Street Profits were annoying. Can't be doing.
I know you're slowly losing steam with Street Profits. I caught clips of this. Some people good on commentary wrestlers. Kevin Owens is, for me, the standout. Selena Vega's also been really good at recently. Where they're not loud, but they talk through what they're going to do and how they're going to rise or what their client's going to do. Whereas Street Profits are just very hype. And sometimes that doesn't work on commentary.
Hype's fine.
Big E, the New Day are another good example.
They just need to turn it down. But even Dawkins was bad here. it doesn't add anything to it. It's
Even
just
Dawkins is the bad one. Oh, Montez.
Apparently, Jerry Lawler told them to tone it down a bit, and let's face it, that's probably gone from Vince backstage going,
Shut up. You do.
I had my volume on 15 on the TV, and I had to turn it down to 7 for this match.
Well,
because I had my window open and I didn't want the neighbours complaining.
Do you remember on SmackDown a couple of months ago where Big E was on commentary, but they gave him his own desk? And so Tom Phillips and it was Cole and Corey were doing commentary, and they cut over to I think it was Kofi and Big E doing their own commentary. That could work well with them two. Like, you go from the typical commentary, them two just getting absolute hype, but then don't stay in them the entire time. Go back to the main commentary team. I think that would work, but not consistently.
Get hyped, but just don't be don't be annoying. Like, it's such an easy fix. Like, it's not like they're being booked badly or they've changed the gimmick or their in-ring style. Just turn it down a little bit. Just
go on, notch it down a little bit. But we did have after that.
I don't know who's appealing to this. Like, it's the same issue I had with original Mojo Rawley. Like, they've turned into Mojo Rawley and Gronk as a tag team.
In fairness, right, we crapped on Gronk. Gronk is still 24/7 champion. I'm pretty
Go on the Gronk.
But we did have the main event, which was Drew McIntyre defeating Angel Garza. I did like it. I don't know whether this were in the open promo after, where Drew sort of, Selena's on commentary. I think it was the main event, and Drew goes, "Hi, Selena, the thorn in my ass." And it was a sort of a nice little thing of they're finally recognising NXT. I know they have to with Andrade, Angel Garza, Austin Theory, Andrew. You four practically main eventers of Raw currently. I know you have to recognise them. But I just like that they referencing him.
Yeah.
So Drew beat Andrade last week, right?
I know it. Yeah, I know Angel Garza is my boy, but for me, this just took it too far. Like, they've just lost all credibility.
Yes and no, but Drew's your champ at the end of the day.
He is, but like, there's not many wrestlers available. You might be in this situation for 18 months. You can't just run over. You can't just run over 3 wrestlers in the space of 2 weeks.
I think what will happen is after Seth, now that Murphy's actually been on the show, I think we'll get more things with Seth and Murphy and Drew. I think maybe it was just filler while they were trying to figure out what to do. So these lads have come to step in. I sort of think they get overconfident now with like, oh, we've lost, but who cares? Look at us. We don't need to win. And like,
if that's the case, and if this unit is meant to be filler, they've done too good of a job with it, because I don't want to see them go back to the mid card. I don't want to see them break up. I want to see them stay in the main event.
Sorry, I didn't mean filler as mean together. I meant in terms of like, while they try to figure out, because obviously Seth, Andrade and stuff are not in the title picture, but Seth is. I think it was just maybe while they were figuring out how to integrate Seth into this. I think that's what they've stepped. It'll be interesting what they do with the rest of them. Sorry, I get
it that they're a short-term feud, but they've just Zelina Vega on commentary has just been so good. Like, if you don't, this doesn't need to be like a long-term feud, but every few weeks you could just keep going back to this. And they probably will do. And it was a 5 match, and obviously McIntyre looks. It's a bit of a catch-22 because there's been so many title reigns where someone's won the belt and then they've not been given enough wins, and then it just feels like a mid-card title reign. And now they are giving Drew wins, and I'm still complaining. But that's only because Andrade, Garza, and Theory have been so good, and that's just testament to them, really. So it's a negative that's come out of a positive, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's been so good. Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of Monday Night Raw, what do you think? I think it was a really decent episode.
It was a really good Raw. Everything
I'd give it a 4.
The only negatives were Street Profits. I'm just looking through it now. Morgan versus Riot didn't really need to happen. Nia Jax was a big negative. And apart from that, the major positives, Viking Raiders and Brendan Vink. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 for me.
A solid 4 out of 5.
Don't
let that distract you from the fact that Raw shouldn't be happening though.
No, it shouldn't be happening, but it is. they've paid off the government. What? But it should be happening. But at least we've got the content. But we will. We'll go on to the main event. Normally we do a battle of three. I think this week, obviously, last week, just after we finished recording the podcast, I think, no, on Wednesday, sorry, they started releasing superstars just out of nowhere. Every nearly half an hour, there was a new name added to a list.
This was one of the maddest Wednesdays, days I can remember. Like, it was just going on for hours.
It was just mental. They put out a statement and there were 6 names. Like, well, it's a shame. Some of them are surprising, but okay, it's all right. And then all of a sudden, just more people. It was like, oh, they're not stopping here. Like, so if you don't know, the names that were released, I think we've got all of them here. Drake Maverick, Kurt Hawkins, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Aiden English, Eric Young, EC3, Leo Rush, Kurt Angle, Sarah Logan, Mike Chioda, Primo, Epico, Rowan, Mike Kanellis, Maria Kanellis, Zack Ryder, No Way Jose, Rusev, Deonna Purrazzo, and Alexander Jaksic, possibly Tino Sabatelli as well. It's not
possibly unconfirmed.
It was rumoured, but I mean, we'll just talk about really what's your opinion on the releases and so. Obviously, it's a horrible situation for these wrestlers, but what do you think about the way WWE went about
it? Immoral, unnecessary, terrible company. But their stocks have rised off the back of it. They'll have a good Q1 investors call. It's the cold, hard world of business.
It is.
And it is completely wrong that it is that way. And people's jobs and families and welfare should come before corporate greed. But this is Vince McMahon.
It is.
And it's the way he rolls.
So it was rumored that release was going to happen. But we all presumed not many. We thought people that may have been a lot of maybe NXT guys who haven't been used or people who haven't been on the live shows in a while. And then when more releases started coming, we realised that this was a lot of people going, a lot of wage bills. The one problem was WWE, a very rich company, they had nearly 500 million in assets. All they had to do was sell a couple of their assets, have enough money that will tide them over to lockdown, because they're not going to go bankrupt. They have enough money.
It's like 1% of pay them for like 4 months.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So if you take 2% of your assets, let's say, remember that if they took, I think 4% or 3% out of their assets, they would still be in a profit the year. Which, when you look at all the people that released as well, it's just profound, because some of these people can go into big things. So I thought we'd just talk about the name and sort of see what do you think will happen with the future. So some of them will be quite easy to skip over. Some of them. We'll start with Drake Maverick. For me, he is one of the biggest losses. He was the biggest thing in the 24/7 title. He's still in the NXT tournament. I genuinely see him either going back to England and sort of we're obviously talking about when all the lockdown and quarantine is over. I do see him going back to England and could be like the biggest name in England. No, even anywhere. For me, he can go anywhere and he can be great.
He's not. I know he's versatile and he can kind of do it all. But I was never really too sure what his role was, where he'd have been best suited in WWE. Well, I mean, I do. Like, they should have paired him with EC3. It's quite simple, but they never really found his niche apart from 24/7. Yeah.
Kurt Hawkins, his wife put out a really emotional post talking about what they really had to go through here. They went, the first time it happened, we were shocked, but we were waiting for it to come. They said, this time we didn't know. It's a sad thing. I don't think we'll really see him. I think him and possibly Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, we won't really see them in wrestling. I don't think we'll probably see them with the YouTube with their major FW podcast.
Matt Cardona's AEW bound.
Do you think? Did you see?
Cody has gone on record and said if he can sign one person, it'd be Ryder.
Really? Did you see the Twitter post that someone did when, well, what AEW is need to sign Zack Ryder. They need to pair him up with Cody as a tag team. They need to go on the Jericho cruise, and then they can have the tag team the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Oh, it's cliche.
Come on, it's funny. You've got to make the most. But yeah, in fairness, if Cody's come out and said that, what can Zack Ryder do though for me? Like, how would you portray him as what he was in WWE?
I don't know what I'd do with him in AEW, but he'd be an asset.
He would.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The next one, the Good Brothers, Carlos and Luke Gallows, New Japan bound for me. Tama Tonga and him have already talked.
So that's probably it. That's probably the last I'm seeing of them.
Yeah, they'll go New Japan. Their podcast is so funny. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's what they should be. They're hilarious. Went to #1 sports podcast in America a day after the release. Yeah. In terms of like instant results and stuff, #1.
Yeah.
She's just mental. Yeah. For me, they're either AEW or New Japan bound. I think it's New Japan. Tama Tonga. People tweeting me already and telling, yeah, we'll welcome them back more or less. So, yep, I believe them two will go New Japan. Just a couple of names that we can sort of brush over. No Way Jose, Mike Kanellis, Rowan, Primo Epico, Eric Young, Aiden English. I think they'll just be. I think maybe Mike can also go back to Ring of Honor. I don't with the other ones. I don't really see. I don't know what they will do. Eric Young probably TNA again.
Now you see what Aiden English is simple. You just get him back with Rusev.
Oh yeah, if Rusev sounds very AEW, bring Aiden English along as his hype man.
It's that easy.
For me, the worry is, will AEW sign too many? I think if AEW just sign Rusev and you've actually convinced me, Aiden English, that would be fine for me. Have the double sign.
They don't sign everyone like TNA because a lot of who WWE are releasing are valuable assets. EC3.
True. Well, I would leave it in. Yeah.
I'd sign Rusev, EC3, English. And personally, I'd sign Leo Rush, but I don't think they will.
Yeah.
And I'd leave it at that.
Yeah. Heath Slater, another one that was very shocking. He's been in the company nearly 15 years. I
don't think it's shocking. But
for me, I was just surprised.
Yeah.
Because when he does so much stuff, like he does the game show on the YouTube and stuff, I just presumed he'd be one that they keep around us.
I mean, yeah, but Vince doesn't know any of these things exist.
I know, which is a problem. Like for me, Heath Slater provided one of the best SmackDown stuff. Like when do you know when he got undrafted, and he spent nearly 2 months sort of going between both shows trying to, and then when they were one of the SmackDowns when they had all like the titles on the line, not on the line, but everyone was in the ring. Heath Slater appears and went, I want a thing. He was like, well, you can't have the women's match. The men's has already been decided.
Heath's cool, but he's wrestled 2 matches in 6 months. Like, it can't be argued that he's an asset.
No, he's not an asset. But just if you look back at the original, when they split the brands up, Heath Slater was one of the most entertaining things on both brands. Like when he was going around looking for a tag team partner, he got with Rhino. They were the first SmackDown tag team champions. Like. It's just sad to see that they just offloading him so easily. And speaking of someone who is being such a sort of an ass to the company, Mike Chioda and Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, I understand, is producer, and he hasn't been there for long. But Mike Chioda, I saw something. Was it nearly 35 years or something stupid?
Chioda had been there, I think, 33, I think.
Obviously, you don't want to say. Sorry, what?
Didn't he like senior ref? Or is that Charles Robinson?
I think it's Charles Robinson, but he's surely high up the pecking in reffing order.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like you don't want anyone to fight, but surely like there's other referees that.
I know what you mean. You don't want to say anyone lose the job, but if anyone was to, I don't know why it's him.
Unless because he was one of the later, unless he saw other people going and was like, don't fire any other referees, fire me. It's just it's a strange one. I don't think he would have. No. It's strange, isn't it?
I don't know. 53. He's not that old.
No, it's rumoured that
he's younger than the Undertaker.
It's rumoured that a couple of other people will resign. One of them, Sarah Logan. It's rumoured that once all this is over, she will resign.
Right. Okay.
Along with who's the other one? There's one more who's I think Heath Slater might be the other one who's rumoured to just resign. Kurt Hawkins possibly. Drake Maverick is another one. A name that's been thrown around. Like they've got rid of him, but it's rumoured they'll just bring him on after all this is over.
Yeah.
Who have I missed out?
But they might not want to. They might think that, but then, do you know what I mean? They might.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually creatively quite liberated outside.
And they might not want to go. And then it could be WWE's loss. Did you see No Way Jose's Twitter video? It was just really nice. He wasn't bitter. He was just honest. And it was quite nice to see the character, not of this party guy, but someone normal. Also, Drake, if you haven't seen Drake Maverick's Twitter video, watch it. It's very emotional. Who else have I missed? EC3. He shaved his head. He's immediately. Was it 3 hours after his release? He'd already put a promo on Instagram and Twitter. I think it was something mental like that. Like immediately shaves his head and changes.
I can't believe how much they dropped the ball with EC3. Like, what a wasted year.
Thing is, even in NXT, he wasn't what he was in TNA. He was still entertaining. Like his feud with Dream, he was in the 5-star Lars match, like, and then he's gone to Raw and he was just buried.
Yeah, it's quite sad. But look, he's out now.
Yeah, he's out. Who else? We've got 2 more left. So we'll start with your boy Leo Rush. Does it come as a shock?
Yes.
Really?
He was Cruiserweight champion like 2 months ago.
True.
He was on TV regularly. He's the only reason he's not been on TV is because he don't want to work during the pandemic. Like,
and now I don't want to bring up the WAW. Tony Khan said, if you don't want to wrestle in this pandemic, we understand your place on the card won't be affected.
Feel free, bring it up. It's a very justified point.
No, I don't want to think, but that's what Tony Khan said. He went, if you don't want to wrestle, if you don't feel comfortable, that's fine. Your place on the card will be affected. I think we've already seen that Nyla Rose is still the champion. She hasn't been on the show, but she's still the champion. They haven't stripped her of the title. Who else? I'm trying to think of other wrestlers who haven't been on AEW.
As well.
Yeah, like they're still showing them as much as they can. And yet WWE have released people. And they've released people who refuse to wrestle. Like Leo Rush, it was obvious that he came out and said, I will not wrestle in this pandemic. And they got rid of him.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley, and then I just realised that we completely missed out Bobby Lashley's segment on Raw.
No, he lifted some tyres, you know.
Yeah, he pretended that a tyre was really heavy, then he lifted the tyre, and then he walked off camera.
Was Lana there?
Yeah, Lana was there. Being like Lana, but like we know Bobby Lashley's strong. Look at him.
Yeah. So obviously
the size of this man, in the immortal words of
rest in peace. Obviously we had 2 NXT, Deonna Purrazzo and Alexander Jaksic. Alexander Jaksic hadn't really been on live. He hadn't done any shows. He'd done live shows a lot.
Dorian Mack had gone.
Yeah, Dan Mather.
The other half of the Outliers with Riddick Moss.
Yeah, yeah. I saw he put an emotional one saying like, "It's been the most rock and like whirlwind type kind of month." He had emergency surgery at the start. Something else happened, then he got released. It's mental, isn't it? I
don't think the releases are over with just yet either. Like, there's more.
No. It's surprising that a lot of these were from Raw, apart from the Colognes and I think Heath Slater.
And that's exactly the reason why. Because there's on SmackDown, you've got to think like, my eyes immediately go to Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel.
But Charlotte, because surely they would have released them by now. We've already had SmackDown. Like, I think. Do you think they're waiting for the storm to pass and then?
I think they're waiting for it to all die down and then do it again, rather than just get like nuclear heat all.
Yeah.
Maybe do it every Wednesday. Maybe it'll come tomorrow afternoon.
Oh God, imagine. Just 2 more names: Deonna Purrazzo, had appeared on a lot of shows. She had a horror show, which I think she was Rowan 21. She was on Raw a lot. She was on NXT.
Yeah.
It's a shame when someone who's been on the show a lot and given that you just get rid of him like that. And the final name, he's wanted his release for a long, long time. It's Rusev. Probably the biggest asset. Again, one of the things that we'll talk about in the future, the ball being dropped the most, these three, one of them, Rusev Day.
Yes, yesterday I went back. I didn't have much to do yesterday. I went back and watched a Rusev compilation. And just when he's coming down to the ring with Jinder Mahal and like the New Day and Enzo and Cass are in the ring, and he goes, "Look at you. You know you've got Big Cass and Big E. We know you're big. We can see it. I don't go around calling myself Handsome Rusev."
And that's when he changed his Twitter handle as well, weren't it, to the Handsome Rusev.
And then do you remember that like Christmas themed match that they had, where it was Rusev Day and New Day backstage, and like Rusev Day like enter the shop, and Rusev pulls down his beard and goes, "It's me, Rusev from Rusev Day." Do you know which one I mean?
Yeah, who was he wrestling? He can do
comedy so well.
He was one of the guys who found a blend of when he needed to be serious. Who did he have? Was it Reigns he had a match with where he switched it and he was proper serious of like he needs to win and stuff. He lost, but he went from being this comedy guy over his day to like, all right, okay, wrestle a good match, I need to win.
When he was in NXT, he was terrifying.
Yeah, and even when he came up, he came in a tank. Like you can't draw the ball with someone where you've given him a tank entrance. You know what I mean? I've seen what you put in.
Yeah, just for later. It's me, Rusev. Cracks me up every time.
He found a great way of being this entertaining guy, but still was scary in the ring. In terms of like when he went, Rusev can win this match. League of Nations, was he part of League of Nations?
Was he a part of the League of Nations?
Barrett,
yeah, I think he...
Del Rio, Sheamus. No,
Rusev.
Yeah. If we missed anyone, oops. But
I think he was. There was 4 of them. Yeah, because there was 3 Europeans and then Del Rio, which was just a bit random.
Mexican, yeah. The boys, the lads.
The lads. They call themselves the lads.
I genuinely think this is AEW, Sam Rusev and in English, but wait till you have live crowds and then you just hear Ed in English go, he comes out, Rusev Day. No, it wouldn't be Rusev Day. In fairness, the cough and the singing probably would give it away, but I recognise that. Why is that so familiar?
Yeah, all it needs to do is the cough, and then but you've got to wait until it's in front of a crowd.
All he has to do is come out, hold a mic, and the crowd would erupt.
Yeah, if you like WrestleMania 34, if you go back and watch Rusev's entrance, all Aiden English does is stand there, and people are going in.
Is that when he shaved his head? He did the Battle Royale and he went out and shaved his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is like I don't know what to say. I hope he goes somewhere where he's valued. He can do serious and he can do comedy. And I hope he brings Aiden English with him because you made me want it now. As his valet in a way. Then he need to do tag teams. Sorry, go on.
I just whatever they do, I just hope whoever it is reunites them. But it's not like they're a tag team. So like with when the Ascension got released, they stuck together because that's all they've ever been really. Mm-hmm. When the Colognes will stick together because they're brothers. English and Rusev are 2 single stars, and
they haven't been together for a while anyway.
I don't know whether Rusev will command a higher fee than English, and
I don't know. I think it'll depend. I think AEW will definitely get Rusev, and I think even if it's just if we go to an English, like we need you just to come in and announce him, would you do that for a fee? Even if it's like you don't even need to sign in English, because AEW are in a lucky position where they're technically still an indie, so they can hire people for one-off days.
Yeah, English don't have to wrestle. Like I'm not saying hire him as a commentator because I don't think he'd suit AEW, but English is
good.
Really good.
He was entertaining. He's another one that's probably gone under the radar, revitalising from being in the Vaudevillains in NXT. Were they the first tag team champions? 2 main roster.
Oh,
they
right,
were the longest reigning, were they? Something. The Vaudevillains did hold a record. Obviously, the main roster was long.
NXT Benson still hold the record.
Yeah, and then he came out, and then he became Rusev's manager, practically, obviously with Lana and stuff. And it's just a shame that all these people who could be something have just gone like that.
Yeah,
so
there ain't much more to say. It is just, it was a dark day. It was last Wednesday. Like there was no positives.
It's a shame, but what can you do? It's unfortunately it's a cutthroat business of wrestling and also WWE. Isn't it much you can say? Just we hope the best for them, don't we? That's all we can say.
Yeah, everyone has got released.
But if you've not heard of us before, we are the Wrestling Corner. We do talk about your NXT, your AEW, and your Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, your WWE. We try to give you the best outlook on all the live shows. That's why it is always quite a long podcast. Eventually, we'll start putting timestamps in, so you can just go to your main shows, just so it's easier. But yeah, that's us. And if you've heard of us, we are the Sports Corner. We don't just do wrestling. Mondays, we do have a whole city career mode done by Josh. On Tuesdays, we do have us. We are the Wrestling Corner. On Wednesdays, we do have the Top Corner, the Big Daddy, the football podcast. Today, tomorrow, we are doing the Bundesliga team of the season. And a week after that, we are doing a big pub quiz that we're going to try to get everyone that's on the Sports Corner involved. On Thursday, we do have the NFL Corner. I think they're doing their final mock draft. And then tune in on Friday, we have another host at the career mode. Then tune in for, I think it's if you go on the Sports Corner Twitter, I will just load up now. Will and Kieran are doing live reactions to the NFL draft. I'm just getting the date here. That's the pub quiz. NFL draft 2020 reactions. So that's live from midnight, UK time, 23rd of April to the 25th of April. They'll be streaming from midnight till nearly probably 4 a.m. once the drafts are done with. So stay tuned for that. See who your favourite NFL teams have picked. I'll be looking out for my Jags. But that has been the Wrestling Corner. I'll be joined by Simon. Thank you very much for joining me, Simon.
Yeah, thanks for allowing me into the broadcast studio, I think.
I know. And shout out the Viking Raiders and goodbye.